What's up and hello everybody. Welcome back. I'm going to keep this quick because I'm recovering from a little bit of sickness I've had the past couple days. But I just wanted to come to you with a little bit of draft stuff now that the Knicks have officially gotten the 11th overall pick in the draft. Just released a little draft profile thing. Not nearly in depth as it could be. I'm not a draft analyst or one of those guys that follows the prospects religiously throughout the year, so I just have been seeing names circulate that people think the Knicks should take, and I want to look into those guys. And it seems, well, spoiler, but Bennedict Mathurin was the one that I wrote a recap up on, and he's one of the names I've seen circulate a lot. Love his prospects. Size, frame, his shooting, incredible. A lot to be looked into further. I just got a few glimpses of him. And there's a lot of other guys to even look at in general to begin with. One of my guys that I've been very interested in is Dyson Daniels. I have to look into him a little bit. People have mentioned a Jalen Williams. I have to look into a little bit. In some, though, you would think that the Knicks drafting a franchise point guard would be the target. I'm not so sure that's even the thing anymore. I feel like some people would agree as well that, the Knicks drafted Immanuel Quickley 25th overall 2 seasons ago now, and he could debatably be that guy. Maybe not franchise altering, but, a start and a starter, so to speak. We've had to endure Elfrid Payton and Alec Burks as starting point guards for the past few seasons. And, Kemba Walker this year as well. And not one of those guys actually panned out at all. Immanuel Quickley has the drive and the capability to become better than either of those guys. And, the stats show it. If you read the recent the Mathurin breakdown that I dropped, you'll see some stuff that I pointed out about Quickley that, honestly, until I looked at it, I didn't even realize was the truth. I think it was 76th percentile and not usage. It was 70. You just gotta read it, to be perfectly honest. Just keep in mind basically that in his minutes playing, Quickley was just really freaking good. And we saw that. He had a slump early on, and he changed that around pretty quickly as the year dragged on. Unfortunately, the Knicks lost opportunities at becoming a postseason candidate again. But I think Quickley could actually be worth using as a starting point guard, even if it's only experimental to start. But numbers-wise, I'd rather him over Alec Burks or Kemba, who's no longer even with the team at this point. Derrick Rose cannot start. He cannot log starters' minutes. So, run the guy that you drafted as a combo guard who could realistically run the offense and also contribute on the scoring end of things. Excuse me. You'll even see that I reference the Celtics in that breakdown, because if you look at how the Celtics turned out this year, and honestly even for the past few years since drafting Marcus Smart's a defensive player of the year and their starting point guard for this playoff run. And I don't even think Marcus Smart is your traditional point guard at this point. I don't think he's averaged over 5 assists a game in his career. I'm going to fact check that as I speak. But you just can see that, your stereotypical point guard isn't entirely necessary. I'm sorry, he averaged 5.9 assists this year. Marcus Smart has been averaging 5 assists just about for the past 3 seasons, so that's good enough. But it just goes to show that you don't need some guy that's going to average 9 assists a game to be a functioning and cohesive offense, or point guard for that matter, just in general. I think Quickley could get there. He's already pretty much gotten there. You saw how he played the last few games. So drafting a point guard isn't, I would say, a dire necessity. The Knicks could definitely experiment with this pick that they have this year if they elect to keep it. You could draft a wing, you could draft a center, you could draft some type of combo guard, but it won't be the most. It won't be the end of the world if they don't take a guard. I think, if Thibodeau can stop being stubborn, he can work on Quickley and get him into the games sooner and just work on him, develop him. That's kind of the whole goal here. Draft and develop homegrown talent, because where do we lose if that's the case? So Mathurin is more of like a wing, but like a swing man. He could slot in. I think he could pretty much be a nice little running mate with R.J. Barrett at the wing. He's probably going to end up playing off the bench if he gets drafted, so whoever he steps in for as the wing minutes off the bench, solid player. He looks pretty good. He bites on pump fakes, and he fouls people sometimes on jump shots. Pretty sturdy defender, though. He's a little light at the moment with weight, but he'll get there. That's just what it ends up being. That's how most guys start in the NBA at this point, especially the smaller position guys. But I don't hate his prospects. I do like what he brings to the table. I think he could bring it to the table for the Knicks and, ultimately help them grow. You look at guys like Quentin Grimes that just got drafted this year that could do the same thing. Devin Vassell, I think, more or less builds is like the same thing as Bennedict Mathurin. Now, in fairness, I don't watch these guys like that, so I could be misspeaking to a degree. Nevertheless, I do like Mathurin. I'm very anxious to look into some more of these guys that, are projected at the 11th overall spot, assuming the Knicks don't trade up or down. Because then that's going to require a lot more research. Because, especially, like I said, since I don't follow this that greatly, and I don't put out content regarding the draft too often, and even just guys coming out of the NCAA tournament and all that, NCAA in general, I really only focus on when the pick is in and what's certain. I want to see, who the Knicks might be considering at that point. So at the moment, it's probably like a select handful of guys, probably like 5 to 10 dudes that seem the most promising. I got to look into, and I'm going to be doing that until the draft, which is in about a month or a month and a half. I forget what day and date we're doing it this year. But stay tuned. Look forward to some stuff coming out. I'm going to see if I could get my buddy Nick Rinaldi into the mix as well. He actually just also dropped his first post on a website that I added into his profile. If you go to the website and go to the crew tab, he's going to be doing some data-driven stuff, pulling data about some trends and narratives that are being, brought about in the NBA, which I actually really look forward to. It has to do a lot with coding and program stuff, but not something I'm really familiar with. But for all you coders and just data guys out there, check it out. He is also looking to have some people help him out with some stuff. If you want to write anything or just talk about data and coding, whatever, mostly data, not coding stuff, but you know what I mean. Nevertheless, Nick Rinaldi, Nicky Dimebags, as you may know him on Twitter. Did he change that? I don't remember. Whatever the case, go check out his stuff. He may be helping me out, drop some draft stuff. I'm definitely going to be looking at more prospects and writing stuff up. And then, just keep tabs, and we'll see each other probably around the draft again. If not a little sooner. I do plan on getting together and chatting things up with Nick again. And then, pick your guys' brains. As always, Like, follow, and share is appreciated. And I just actually opened up a Teespring account. I got a little bit tired of Redbubble. So if you want to check that out, just feel free. Just more of the design stuff, sweaters, shirts, hoodies, and whatnot. Um, that'll be all for me, folks. Again, I am a little bit sick at the moment, so I'm trying to get over that. But it's been a pleasure, and have a good night.